What up, though? What up, though? This is another episode of IOW Sports. As you can see, I am running solo. Lamar has something he had to do. I think Nick's still nursing an injury. What's up, Sincere? So I got to go all by myself. So I'm just gonna do an hour and get on out your way. I'll be here before you long. We got a lot of stuff to try to get out the way in an hour. But let's get the preliminaries out of the way. You haven't done it, go over to our YouTube channel and subscribe to the page. We got a lot of good content coming out. You got Lamar with his late night owl with MJ and a jersey reveal they do all the time. Hey man, if you up late at night and you want to watch something and you just want to get your sports in, check out Lamar on his late night owl. You can catch Nick on Projects Fan. Catch us on Twitter. You can catch us on any social media thing that is out there because we are there. And coming soon, we are trying to get our radio station back. So if you want to get involved with that, hit us up. Hey, we trying to do some things out here. But anyway, now that we got all that stuff out the way, I see Al is on my he's messaged me about the trades, and Sincere talking about the trade. Um it's a lot of stuff I want to get out the way. I want to get some of the small stuff. What up, though, Matt? Small stuff out the way first before we get into that, because I know once we get into the trades, that's gonna take up most of the show. Yeah, I'm rolling solo, bro. Um, I was watching. I think it was ESPN. I watch so much crap, I forget where I watch it. But I was watching something. I saw Brian Cashman and I saw A Rod, and it was talking about the Yankees. And everybody who knows me, I'm a Lions fan. I mean, a Tigers fan first, but I do follow the Yankees in my second team. And so, all right, hold on one second, Matt. Um, so anyway, Cashman was talking about the Yankees' struggle, and yeah, I'm gonna paraphrase. I can't remember exactly what he said, but he said something along the lines of, we go through these, teams go through struggles all the time, and you know, um, we'll find a way to bounce back, and this and that, you know. And I was kind of like, well, here's my thing with that. That's true. Teams go through struggles, especially talking about any kind of sports. They go through struggles up and down all the time. But here's my thing. Last year, I think Nick was talking about it. I think Matt also we was talking about the Yankees and what they're going through. They had went through a slide and they went through a winning streak. Then as Aaron Judge went, so had the Yankees. And they found the same pattern this year. And you see Stanton can't stay healthy. So my thing is that too much, too little, too late. Because why are you not making changes? You need to make changes to me. I think what he was talking about was not good enough to me. Um, hold on, I got too many things going on at once. Uh, my thing is like this. He's talking about struggles and all this stuff. That's okay if you're not the Yankees. You know, the Yankees is a historically great team. They up there with the Lakers. They're up there with the Celtics. Um, teams like that where you expect wins and not like you expect them to bring championships, bring in big names. I was talking to somebody about this yesterday. When you go outside this country and you ask about football, what's the team most people associate NFL football? Dallas Cowboys. Like them or love them, I don't care what you say. You go to outside this country and you talk about football, most people know who the Cowboys are. You go over to baseball. If you go outside this country and you ask people about American baseball, they associate American baseball, the MLB, with the New York Yankees. So with that comes, how's the saying? Much is given, much is required. This is unacceptable for this kind of franchise because you are the New York Yankees. Hold on a second. See, I'm so used to being able to do this because I got 4 or 5 people on the show with me. So it's kind of like going back and forth, going back and forth. But anyway, you expect greater things from the Yankees, and I think his comments to me was unacceptable. And then you think in light of George Steinbrenner and how he ran his team, I just think that Cashman is not doing enough. I'm looking at, yeah, you got Aaron Judge, I think one of the greatest players in the game today. Arguably, you can put him in your top three. Some people say I say other players, but I think if you go down the line, you talk about the best players in baseball right now, he's got to be in your top three. So I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with what's the word I want to use? I don't have a problem with Aaron Judge on this team. I think Aaron Judge is a perfect fit for this team. But I think, and I like Garrett Cole. I like some of the pitching they have. My problem is that as Brian Cashman, as he's talking about this team, he's not putting nothing to action to me. And it's very disappointing to watch. It's not, and then the other side of the coin too, I think about too, is it just that Yankees fans are spoiled because they used to seeing them winning? You can look at it from that standpoint too. Matt getting ready to log on, so this is more his forte, the baseball thing. But I just thought that was interesting. Then I going to the A-Rod thing. A-Rod was doing the interview, and they asked A-Rod, what should how do you feel the state of the Yankees right now? And he said, Cashman need to make some moves. Boom, right there. Cashman need to make same thing I was saying. Cashman needs to make some moves. And if someone on the outside looking in, like me, say that, and then you got someone who was involved in the organization saying that, it's gotta have, where there's smoke, there's fire. He's not making enough moves to me to bring this team to a championship level. And you have to have players in there sustain your injuries. You gotta have a strong farm system. The way they used to overcome it before was like they used to get so many big players in there that they can give up their farm system because they got half of the stars on their team. It's not like that now. It's not like that at all now. You can. How many big stars they have on their team now compared to what they used to have? Not a lot. Not a lot at all. I mean, all we talk about is Judge mostly, and Stanton could be a star if he stayed healthy. Garrett Cole, great pitcher. I don't even care for Donaldson too much. So I mean, if you go down the line of this roster, no big stars like you used to seeing. Some say that's good, some say that's bad, but that's how this team was built. And if you're gonna be the Yankees, you have to live up to that Yankee brand. I don't think they are. If I'm gonna get Matt in here and let's see what he say once he get up in here, see what he thinks about that. But I don't think living up to the Yankee brand. I just don't. Let me know when you're ready, Matt. Okay.
What's going on, Mel? How you doing?
Not much, man. I know you heard anything I was saying, but
I heard the very beginning, and then I was logging on, so I didn't hear everything. But I heard the very beginning. You were talking about the Yankees and Cashman and Judge.
Yeah. So basically, I want you to jump in here because it's more your forte when it comes to baseball. But yeah, I was just saying, I don't think the Cashman is doing enough to uphold the Yankee brand.
And I would agree with you on that.
Yeah, I think the roster that they have is not what you used to see. I mean, there's a few stars there, but it's not that star-studded roster you used to see or that talent that you used to see. Because you can have stars and not have talent. So they used to have both. They had the consistent people they kept, like, Jeter and stuff like that. Then they bring in players in and out that kind of, okay, this year we might need more hitting, or this year we might need more pitching. So whatever they needed, they brought those people in, and Cashman don't seem to be doing that.
Well, here's my opinion on this. Being a diehard Yankee fan that I am, I follow them 366 days a year. That's my sport. I like how I add that day in. It will be next year 366. So can't say nothing. But yeah, Cashman. I've had this conversation, arguments, with my brother who's a Yankee fan. One of my best friends, a Yankee fan. We've talked about this. Uh, Cashman. I don't know if he deserves to go because he has made a lot of smart moves. But when it comes to big spending and putting a World Series championship team on the field,
right,
he has not done that in years. Okay, they haven't won since 2009. Now, I'm a Yankee fan that saw them when they were terrible, so that people can't say, "Oh, you're used to winning." You expect this. Right. And I tell people all the time, I expect the Yankees to win every year? Absolutely. For how much they spend, I'm not expecting a World Series every year.
Right.
Don't get it twisted. You know what I mean? Like every year they compete. But as a fan, whether or not they have a championship caliber roster,
right,
and they do not.
Right.
Guys are getting hurt left and right, and it's no excuse. It's a part of the sport.
Right.
But you can't replace Judge. Okay.
Correct.
When Stanton was out, when Bader was out, Carlos Rodon has been out. Severino missed time. Montas still hasn't even pitched. The bullpen was banged up, early on. Now they got the best bullpen in baseball.
Right.
Hitting wise, you look up and down that lineup, how many guys they're plugging in and out of that lineup every night. They're not producing. Donaldson ain't doing nothing.
Right.
Stanton ain't doing nothing. Catcher Trevino ain't doing nothing. Higashioka, ain't really doing much. LeMahieu ain't doing shit.
Right.
Rizzo's come back down to earth. Torres is in the run in the middle like usual.
I forgot about Rizzo.
Yeah, they got a lot of names there, but they don't have that. To me, it doesn't seem like they have that fire and that passion this year.
Yeah,
they're just kind of like going with the flow, and like we win, we lose. We know we're still going to be a decent team. But if you want to win a championship, man, you got to do something,
right?
And he's got to make a drastic move, because rolling out the same guys every single night, it is not working. It is not working, man. Like Donaldson, dude, DFA him. He's got to go.
Right, I agree.
He's got a good glove at third, yes, but when you're batting under 200, you're batting he's got to be batting like 160. You can't be rolling that out every single night. Stanton's under 200. You can't be rolling him out. Like, what are we doing here, man?
Stanton can't stay healthy though. I mean, it's like, come on, man.
I can't even say it's unfortunate, because this shit happens, but for Cashman to stand pat and not do nothing, he's throwing away the season, if you ask me. You got a very solid Tampa Bay team, which I didn't see coming. Baltimore, I had them in the playoffs, so I saw this. I think they're still a year ahead of schedule. I would have figured next year they really, really would have taken that leap, but I did have them in the playoffs. So with that being said, then you got Toronto, who's still decent, Boston, who's decent.
Right.
And you're sitting there and you're not putting together like these win streaks. You're not putting together 8-9 wins in a row, lose one, or lose two. You're not winning like 11 out of 13, 12 out of 14 type things. You're going in playing 500 ball, if that.
Right.
You can't sit there and play 500 ball waiting for Judge to get back.
I agree.
You can't. So
I agree. And not in division itself is tough.
Yeah.
So it's not like years ago when you had Boston, and then whatever team pops up in between that. From top to bottom, it's a tough division.
It is.
500 is not going to get it.
No.
I mean,
and here's a crazy stat.
Go ahead.
Here's a crazy stat. Last night during the game, they said the Yankees have the second best winning percentage against teams with a winning record.
Oh, wow.
So that just goes to show they're not beating the teams that they should. You could play competitive ball against the competitive teams, but the lower end teams that you should be sweeping or taking care of business, you're not doing it.
But man, that's every sport we watch, every sport you talk about. And when you talk about a championship team, you have to have both sides of the ball. You can't just have winning. You can't just be beating teams, tough teams. You got to beat the team you're supposed to beat. That's part of being a championship team.
Correct.
You go against
you're
team,
playing down to the competition instead of just
right,
mopping
right,
the floor with them.
right. It don't feel good as the other team receiving it, but as a championship team, you have to do that to keep your status.
Yeah.
And that's the sign of a great team. But I wanted to at least, because I know we got to get to the trades. I wanted to get that out there first because, I know if we get to the trade, that's going to go on for a while. But one more thing I wanted to bring up before we get into the NBA. I don't know if you saw, I was trying to get the sound bite with my dang computer acting crazy. But anyway, Aaron Rodgers was talking about the legalization of magic mushrooms for the most part. And
oh boy, I saw some, but I didn't hear the audio clip either.
And so I'm gonna paraphrase it because I like the audio was taking all day, but basically it was just saying like it helps him to become a better person, more introspective, to love himself and to love his teammates, to love people around him, that kind of thing. So he said it helps relax him and everything like that. Now, I'm gonna get your opinion on it first before I go into my little diatribe. So what do you think about him saying legalizing magic mushrooms?
Listen, man, I'm not even gonna fucking front. I tried them one time when I was about 20. I want to say about 22, 23.
Okay.
I tried them one night, and I'll tell you what, dude. I would never fuck with them again. I don't like being on something that's out of my control.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, when you drink too much, you get out of control. Yes.
Yeah.
Being on the shrooms that night, I started seeing fucking glowing shit. This guy kept asking me to, because he smoked weed and I had a bowl inside. It was at my house.
Yeah.
Dude, he asked me for the bowl like 3 times and I kept forgetting. Oh, he's like, you got that bowl, man? I said, yeah, go get it for you. Dude, the third time, his head was like this in front of me.
Wow.
And I was like, whoa, So, I mean, to each his own, but dude, man, like if that's what he wants to do, I can't talk for another man in his decisions.
Yeah. Right.
But man, if I was the Jets, I would be concerned because you get one bad trip and that could be the rest of your life. You'd be in that fucked up world, because I saw that happen to somebody I worked with. He was never into drugs, nothing like that. And one night he was with friends and he took either shrooms or acid or something.
Right.
And from that point on, he was never the same. He turned like from a normal human being to very slow, and it seemed like he had a disability from one bad trip of drugs.
Right.
So if I were the Jets, I would be highly concerned about this. This ain't like smoking weed, bro. This is a whole nother level of drugs. I wouldn't recommend it from personal use, but to each his own. And if that's what helps the guy get by, who am I to tell him different?
Now I'm gonna say this. This is my. So my sister is a integrative health coach and a cannabis coach. Integrative health therapist and a cannabis coach.
Cannabis coach?
Yeah. So basically,
you got something good to recommend to me, bro? I got my
card. I brought that up because here's the thing, and until she got into it, bro, when it came to a lot of stuff, it changed my mind about a lot of stuff. Let me say that. And so even with smoking weed and stuff like that, I never was a much of a smoker. I would eat more than I would smoke because I'm just didn't like the inhaling of smoke and stuff like that. But I love to eat. So you put anything in the food, you got me. You know what I'm saying?
You got me. I surrender. Hands up.
You know what I'm saying? You got me. But it started helping me sleep. And everything. So that's one reason why I really start when I go back home and stuff. I can't really sleep now. I mean, I can go to sleep, but I can't stay asleep.
Yeah.
And so when I take an edible, it helps me stay asleep and get a good night's rest. And so we start getting to talking about the medicinal parts of cannabis, and really, so there's the recreational use of it. You know what I'm saying? Mostly we roll it, smoke it. And really, when you break it down and you light it and fire into some of those papers, it degrades it. It takes away the medicinal part. You still get high, you know what I'm saying? But the medicinal part, and I'm just paraphrasing because I mean, she knows more about it than I do. Now, going into the psilocybin or the magic mushrooms and stuff. So I did an interview on the other channel with my sister, this other lady who does psilocybins, which is the magic mushrooms, stuff like that. And what we call magic mushrooms, and ayahuasca is a form of that and stuff too.
Ayahuasca, yep.
Yeah, and so she started breaking some of that stuff down, and some of the properties in psilocybin is similar to what's in serotonin.
Okay.
And it helps with depression. It helps with addiction. It helps with a lot of different things that we deal with in mental health. The problem is that if you buy them off the street and not in a controlled environment, that's when you have those people who get those trips and stuff like that, where you go into a controlled environment where they teaching you how to use it and the medicinal part, microdosing and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And that will help you. So I think people kind of blur the lines and put everything in there and say, oh, well, you taking magic mushrooms and yeah, but it's a whole lot to it than that. So mm-hmm. if what's up, Nick?
What's up, boy?
If Aaron Rodgers is taken in a controlled environment, which I'm assuming he is because of who he is, I don't have a problem with it. And legalized, I don't have a problem with it. But only problem
that's how I say, like, to each his own, man. If that's what he wants to do, if that's what helps him to get by,
the only problem
I'm not here to tell him different.
The only problem I have, Matt, is that it needs to be taught to people about what it is. You know what I'm saying? How it works. And regulated. Because if it's not, then people go the same thing about marijuana years ago when they won that campaign telling how bad marijuana is. Not and the people who don't really know about it, they oh my God, marijuana is this bad drug. Then once now it's been legalized, people start to learn about it, understand the medicinal part of it. Now it's not as quote unquote scary as it used to be. And I think that's the thing. People need to talk about what's the medicinal part of psilocybins, ayahuasca, and stuff like that, and take away that stigma.
And I'm gonna be honest, because Nick's on and he knows a little bit more about me personally. I got my medicinal card back in 2020. Okay. I had many years ago I had fallen into the trap of taking painkillers.
Okay.
So when I got back surgery, I was prescribed them. I was prescribed the same shit, but a little bit less of a dosage.
Okay.
I found myself going back to the streetways and overusing and abusing it a little bit.
Right.
And I didn't want to go down that route no more because I felt myself getting to that point, like needing the shit.
Right.
So I went to the doctor and I got my medicinal card. The reason that I got it is because I don't want to take painkillers, so I use this weed as a medicinal purpose, not just to get high all day and function. This is to keep pain away and keep my thoughts, because I've battled depression for many years.
Right,
so I do suffer from mental health, and I'm not afraid to admit that. I've been seeing a therapist lately, so I'm trying to better myself.
Right.
As a husband, as a father, as a brother, as a better friend, just trying to better myself.
Right.
So for medicinal purpose, I get it 100% because that's why I use it. So if he's got benefits to this, if taking ayahuasca and hallucinogens makes him a better person, I can't fault the man.
Right.
I can't tell him, you shouldn't be doing this. It's wrong. You're a grown man. You're an adult. You know what's right and wrong.
Right.
You know what's good and bad for your body. You know what you're doing. You know what you're taking.
I agree.
If this is the route he's going, and like you said, doing it the proper channels. He's not going, to you ain't going to Detroit and getting the shit off the street from
right.
Homeboy, you know what I mean? He's doing the shit the right way. And when you're in a controlled environment like that, and you can't so much take too many, like you said, micro dosage. If it has benefits for you, so be it.
Right.
Can't knock the guy for it.
Right. What you say, Nick? Are you with us or are you still on mute?
No. I'm
okay.
I think I'm here.
Okay. You know what we're talking about, right?
Yeah. Okay, it's funny because I I wanted to pop in for a little bit when I got the notification that you were live. It's funny that you're talking about Aaron Rodgers because I'm ecstatic right now because the rumors are that Dalvin Cook is at one Jets drive. So I thought it was kind of funny you were talking about Aaron Rodgers right now when I popped on. I mean, I don't. As long as it's nothing that he can violate the league rules and get suspended, do whatever the fuck you want. I don't. I have no opinion,
don't take it and step on the field Monday night either. Don't pull up Doc Ellis and take Ellis Dean and somehow throw a no hitter.
Oh wow.
The guy was saying, like, I saw an interview with him. He said the catcher had so many different colored fingers, like tell pitchers what to throw. He said he couldn't even see who the batter was. He was just up there, like didn't know who it was, and just kind of like went up there and threw the ball.
Damn.
Somehow threw a no hitter. Yeah, it was like 1970 something, 71, 72.
Jesus.
Yeah, Doc Ellis was his name.
Look that up. So how we get all that out the way? Go ahead, Nick. Go ahead.
Yeah, as long as it's not anything that can lead to a suspension, knock your socks off, man. Trip your balls off. I don't care.
Yep.
So now,
I don't think that anybody, unless you're just being a complete hater and asshole, can sit here and critique Aaron Rodgers in terms of being prepared and being ready to play a game and knowing what the game plan is, how to execute it, and how to take advantage of the other team. So it's not like he's taking his drink at halftime and coming out and seeing 47,000 defenders in the second half. So, I mean, I have no opinion on it in any way, shape, or form.
Hey Nick, now what's the rules in the NFL when it comes to mushrooms and shit like that?
My roommate heard you and he goes, "Don't get caught."
that too. But like I said, I personally don't know. I don't know football.
As far as I know
football, but not as much as you guys.
Is it on? It's not on the list, though, is it?
I mean, I'm in a sober living home, so I don't know how much of this discussion I can have. But as far as my understanding, I don't think mushrooms are something that are testable, right? I don't think that's an hallucinogen that can pop on a test, right?
Oh, no, I don't think they have a test for it, but they don't test for it. I don't think they test for it.
Yeah, you could get tested, but I'm not sure if the NFL does.
Yeah, I don't think they test for it. I mean, he does ayahuasca all the, you know what I'm saying?
So
he's been open.
My roommate is telling me they could go specifically and test for it, but it doesn't sound like it's something that would pop on like an NFL like urine.
Yeah, so I thought.
So, I mean,
there you go.
It's June sports talk, right?
Right.
we got to come up with something.
Well, I just thought it was interesting. Go ahead. I didn't cut you off.
I'm indifferent on it, right?
Yeah,
like, if you're not shooting up heroin, you're not snorting lines, you're not,
Oh, hey! Let's back this up. Look what cocaine did to Lawrence Taylor.
Great player. Cocaine and hookers made him good.
It made him the fourth greatest defender of all time.
What up, AV?
You're nuts. You're just trying to fucking get me riled up because
I mean, he's 13th on the sack list. I don't know how we could put him higher.
Don't you dare go there, Nick.
Hey, liking someone and knowing his
who would you put ahead? I'm not even going to ask the question like who you would put ahead of him because you're just absolutely fucking nuts and trying to get me going.
Honest to God, that's where I have him. I'm not busting your balls. It has nothing to do with you.
And who are you going to put ahead of him?
I will put Reggie ahead of him.
You're nuts. Go on.
Okay.
That's a good argument. I won't say.
I could put Aaron Donald. I could put Aaron Donald ahead of him. Because what Aaron Donald
now you're fucking.
I am not in any way, shape, or form. Aaron Donald gets doubled and triple teamed. LT was going against big, slow, methodical tackles who weren't athletic.
You got a better shot.
Talking over me doesn't make you right. You got to hear people.
All right, who else you got? You said fourth. You said fourth, right?
I could argue Ray Lewis. I'm not a fan of Ray Lewis, but Ray Lewis's impact on the field could be argued. But I would say probably. I mean, I don't think it's a no-brainer. Like, I don't think it's Jordan conversation where it's a no-brainer. I think Reggie moving and playing in multiple positions, inside and outside, and how he ragdolled offensive line. And I'm not a fan. I wouldn't make this argument, but if I was forced, I I could say Bruce Smith too, who has, longevity and more sacks. A lot more sacks, I think. I think 60, 70 more sacks. I think Bruce is at 200, right?
Is that 200? You might be.
I think Bruce is the all-time leader at 200. Listen, we all know what Lawrence Taylor's impact, right? He changed the game. He changed the position. I'm not shitting on Lawrence Taylor. He's one of the greatest players of all time. He came in and he hit the ground running. But what if I told you we only had 2 seasons with more than 15 sacks? I think everybody would be shocked when they hear the actual numbers.
Why is it got to be about sacks, though? Look at Aaron Donald.
Yeah, Donald has had 20 from interior, which is insane. J.J. Watt had 20 from interior. Watt doesn't get injured. I think Watt's in the conversation if he doesn't lose like those 3.5 years. His J.J. Watt, all these freaking initials, LTT, I had to pause for a second and hit the reset button. You look at J.J. Watt's run there, and J.J. Watt's run, it's like Don Mattingly, right? Don Mattingly had an epic run, but it was so short you can't put him up there amongst the all-time greats or even in the Hall of Fame because the run was short. I think when you look at what J.J. Watt did in that prime can match up against anybody's prime and stand with it. But just losing those 4.5 years really hurt. I mean, you look at 60, 70 more sacks for J.J. Watt. That's how good he was at that time with the elbow injury, with the leg injury, the shoulder injury, the elbow injury again, the elbow injury again, the elbow injury again.
And then the Cardinals, you don't even count that.
You mean to tell me if Lawrence Taylor if he played in the same era as these guys right now, he wouldn't have fucking 200 sacks?
I mean,
he probably
look at the competition.
I would say obviously his sack numbers would rise,
increase,
but right. I just don't think it's a no-brainer. And I know your stance on it. You're a fan of the player. He's probably your first favorite player, so there's emotion attached to it too.
That's where you're.
And I'm not. What the fuck do I have to invest in Aaron Donald or Reggie White? Like they never played for my team. I'm not thumping a Bible of like Darrelle Revis to be up there. Like I just think
he
100%, Anthony. TJ's on pace to become the all-time leader. He's at 70-something sacks in 5 years, which is unheard of. He plays 12 years, and now he's just hitting his prime.
Mm-hmm.
And we know how Pittsburgh is. They're gonna load that front 7, so you can't just key on him. He's gonna be set up to succeed, and TJ's gonna surpass JJ and many, many people.
I totally agree, but I do agree for most of what you just said. I'll say this though, and I think that when we talk about this particular conversation, I always look at how that player impact the league when they came in. The people you name definitely impacted the league. Like Ray Lewis changed the position. Came in, I seen like Ray Lewis hawk down running backs. You ain't really hear about linebackers doing that. So I think LT did the same thing. So if you put him, if you say he in your top 4, I don't think that's a bad argument based on the people you put in front of him.
Oh, and I don't have a single outside linebacker above him. Right? Like I think it's a discussion. Middle linebacker, I got Ray.
Yeah. Right.
The end, I got Reggie. Outside linebacker, I got LT. Interior, I got Aaron Donald. I think those are the 4 best at those positions, and I think you could have a discussion. When you look at Aaron Donald and J.J. Watt and what they did and how they started the interior defensive linemen being a pass rusher, the Chris Joneses, the Quinnen Williams, all these athletic D linemen coming in, all the other Jeffrey Simmons, Lawrence, Wilkins, all of these interior D linemen now who are impacting the pass game. Yeah. That all really started with J.J. Watt and Aaron Donald dominating, and nobody wanted those guys. You had to be a big, stout, 330-pound Sam Adams, Tony Siragusa if you played defensive. So I think there's also, it's a discussion, right? Like there's no, it's all up for opinion. There's no concrete. I think the only concrete discussion in sports is that Jordan is number 1. I think that's the only one that's concrete because he did.
Why?
Because he did everything. He did it all. He never lost on the big stage. I don't think there's anyone that can compete with Jordan, what I've seen. And don't forget, I never put big men against guards. I do guards and forwards separate than post guys. Kareem in the post is the best ever. Jordan as a swingman guard, best ever. And I don't think either one of those can be argued when you look at what they do with MVP scoring, all that. Those I just think are concrete. When you're looking at, also depends what, as a fan, right? Like as a defensive coach, if you run a 4-3, LT is not that edge rusher, right? Like if you're running a 4-3, you might value Reggie White more than you value the 3-4 outside linebacker. You know, that's why some people say Von Miller, you know, the 3-4 outside linebacker, it's not a 4-3 edge. So it depends on the defensive scheme too, and like what you prefer. Me, I prefer a 4-3. I know a lot of teams run the 3-4. It's been very successful. Nowadays, you're getting better athletes on the field if you run the 3-4. So I do get that aspect of it. But I think you got to look at that as well. But I just don't think it's I don't think it's a no-brainer statement that LT is the greatest defender of all time. I think LT is.
It makes for a good conversation.
Without conversation, I mean, without argument, LT is the greatest outside linebacker we've ever seen. I know some people have tried to bump Von Miller up lately. I'm like, all right, let's calm down.
Yeah, I don't think I can.
But I mean, LT changed the game. Ray Lewis changed the game inside. Donald and Watt changed it from guys who can go inside, outside, guys who can beat double, triple teams with the size and the athleticism of the linemen we have now, the ragdolling offensive linemen. So I think it's a fun discussion. I just don't think it's a no-brainer.
There you go.
And Nick, you're my boy, man. I appreciate your opinion, but you're fucking wrong.
In your opinion, I am. That's fine.
It's everybody's own opinion. You know what I mean? You know, you got your valid argument. You know, and you know, you roll with it. You know, I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. I'm just going to tell you you're wrong. You know, everybody has their own opinions.
I've always been an Air Reed fan.
But instead of just attacking my opinion, present data or facts like I just did, though. Just don't tell me I'm wrong. Listen, tell me why.
All right. Here's the facts.
Go ahead.
Did you ever see LT play? I don't look at numbers.
No, I grew up in New Jersey in the 80s. Never saw him.
Okay. He was a one-man wrecking crew, and you know that. Offensive coordinators, they specifically had a game plan knowing where he was on the field at all times.
100%. But are you saying that the other guys I named aren't?
No, not the way the offenses run nowadays. No. Offensive coordinators don't look at it like, all right, let's see what
Tom Brady and Peyton Manning have both said they've come out and pointed out Ray Lewis and Ed Reed. Peyton Manning had written on his wrist thing, find 20 to know where Ed Reed was on every single snap. There are other players that have done that. I understand what you're saying, but that's not. He's not on an island with that. I got to mute this 1 second. I got to take this.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, he leaving?
I think you fixed the headphone. Well, go ahead.
Let me feel all clear back. Is he?
Like I said, for me, let me say this to Matt. I don't know if Matt's still in, but Matt.
Can you hear? You muted yourself.
Hear me?
Oh yeah, I can.
We can hear you, but you took the headphones off. Can you hear us?
Yeah,
okay.
They were dying.
I thought you were leaving mid conversation. I'm like, oh shit.
I'm here.
Let me ask you this though. Like, if you take what Nick said, his argument, and basically saying that those players still deserve to be in the conversation, I don't think what he said is wrong based on that. You know, you can favor LT. Yeah, you can favor LT, and I understand why you would. But
it's not that I'm favoring my team. Like,
no, I was talking about LT as a player. I wasn't talking about just as a giant, but just LT as a player. You can favor him because that's who you feel is the better player. But I think based on what Nick is saying, you still gonna add some of those guys in the conversation, and you have to have a discussion about it. And if you go to the NBA thing, like he said about Jordan, people throw other players up against Jordan, and when you start looking at the data and everything, it just doesn't come close. And I'm not a Jordan fan.
Yeah.
I have to still admit how great Jordan was.
Right.
You know, and no one won 6. No one did 2 3-peats. I mean, it's a lot of stuff you can add to Jordan's resume that people don't have. Even when you start talking about LeBron and stuff like that, LeBron is, he's a great player, but is he a Jordan player? Is he in Jordan atmosphere? I don't think so. You know, and I think people get nostalgic about players and not look at the data and everything. I'm not saying that that's you. I'm just saying in general.
Yeah.
And people get nostalgic about players, and they just don't remember the bad part about players either.
Yeah, and Matt, I think you're taking it the wrong way because I think you're getting defensive as a fan of him. There's no disrespect in being in the top 4 defensive players of all time. To be in that discussion puts you in elite status, and there's no shitting on anybody that's there. I could argue for LT as well. If somebody said, hey, here's your card, you have to argue LT is the greatest defender of all time. I could do it. But I think you could do it for any of these 4 players, and that's just my opinion on it.
I'm not getting defensive at all. You know what I mean?
Like, Jersey reveal. He's Eminem. Pay a tribute to Melo of Detroit. He's got his Eminem jersey on.
Like, should I go get my LT? I got 3 of them.
He's got 3 of them.
I got 2 blues and 1 white.
Getting robbed over LeBron.
You should have 4 for what place he's in. Boom. Oh, he didn't even laugh at that one.
Come on, Ant.
So, you ever hear someone getting robbed over LeBron's? That's great. That's good shit. Nah, man, people show up and hand out LeBron's.
But
I love Matt. He acts as if he's like Lawrence Taylor Sr. Like that's his son.
I want to get to this NBA discussion, so we got some trades go down before we get out of here because I don't. So the Marcus Smart and Prozingis trade. I'm sure you heard it.
Yeah, Nikki hit me up right away with it. The kid is so quick, man. He gets to me before Bleacher Report does.
Oh wow, that's good. That's good. I don't really like it. I mean, I can see. Okay, I give you some pros for having Porzingis on the Celtics. You know, you're gonna get size, you're gonna get scoring. You know, because you look at, I think Prozingis averaged 20 points. He got
Eat some goddamn meatloaf so you could fill that jersey out. It looks like it's my jersey.
Well, I lost a lot of weight from being sick.
Good for you, bro.
Porzingis gonna give you what 20? I think it's 20 points, 8 rebounds versus Marcus Smart probably give you like 11. I like the white one better. I like that white one.
I never thought I'd hear you say that, Mel.
I know.
Got him.
AP, you heard that, right? You heard that. Are you talking about co-host? You like the white one better?
I was gonna get to that, AP. I was gonna get to that.
And was his comment about me? Someone been at the beach too long, bro. I live down the shore. I'm 10 minutes from the Atlantic, so.
Oh damn! I love the water, man.
Yeah.
But
only 10 minutes from the Atlantic Ocean.
I'm gonna get to the Marcus Smart.
Another thing I never thought I'd hear Mel say on this show.
I can swim
the water.
I can swim too. See.
We need a remote live podcast one day. Just Mel doing a cannonball.
Hey, I want to say about my parents, man. They made me do everything, so that way I learned a lot of different stuff.
Awesome.
But so I can see that argument for getting Porzingis, but then the con is he got shaky knees. He's been injured for most of his career, and you losing Marcus Smart. Yeah, you're getting losing half of your scoring. Well, I mean, vice versa. You're getting double your scoring when losing Marcus Smart, but you're not. Marcus Smart is the Draymond Green of the Celtics. You know, he's a coacher. Yeah. He makes them go. He's a motivator. You know, things like that. So I think you add that's an intangible value that you add with having Marcus Smart. It's not like you're getting a superstar player for Marcus Smart. Like you're getting a Giannis for Marcus Smart. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see why they made this trade. What I say?
From the Celtics aspect? And you know I hate everything.
Yes, I got thrown in the water, sir.
Yeah, just type up, and learn yourself type shit.
Yeah,
I didn't get AP. I'll tell you the way my white dad did it. He brought me out into the ocean at Sandy Hook and just let me go. It's like, hey, I'm going in. You want to eat? Come on in. And I'm like, what? What? And all of a sudden I swam in. He's like, all right, Karen, he can swim. So the pool is easier. At least you can grab a side. The ocean, I would have been down there with the Titanic if I didn't learn very quickly.
I was 7 years old. I was out in Atlantic City. I swam in the ocean.
Yeah, I was about the same, like 6 or 7 at Sandy Hook. All right, Boston. And you guys know how much I hate everything about them.
Right.
I just don't think the need for a defensive point guard in the East is as important as a big guy who can maybe go at Giannis.
Yeah.
Who can take Bam away from the basket. When who can maybe move Embiid away from the basket. To have that stretch tall guy who might have a 25-point game every now and then, right? He's very skilled. He can have some matchups that he exploits, take some pressure off the other two. I just think that the ceiling is higher with him. What Smart does with defense and shooting threes, I'm not shitting on him with what he does. You could find more of those guys.
Right.
And you can find walk-ons who are hustle on defense and can hit an open three on a rotation.
I guess my point
what Giannis does is Porzingis, what he does,
the white Giannis,
is more rare, right? What did you say?
The white Giannis.
yeah. So I think it's the Celtics doing a little self-assessing of where can we get better. And when you had Al Horford go 0 for 9 from 3 in a game, you're upgrading there. Even if you got to regress a little bit. Nowadays, I mean, it's not like it's high school or youth basketball where there's full court presses and you need a really good dribbler bringing the ball up. Like the days of like an Isaiah or Magic, guys who got to break a press.
Right.
Shit don't exist anymore. How many times you see Jokic walk the ball up court? You have your stretches who bring the ball up court. So having a pure point guard, with the rotation, it's just a matter of luck who gets the assists a lot of times, right? It depends how the defense rotates and having that pure passer, which is why I think the Warriors trade is stupid as fuck. But I'm sure we'll get to that.
We'll get to that next,
But you don't need that pure point guard. Yeah. Name the pure point guards that win. Like the last pure point guard to win, Steph's a shooter.
Yeah.
The Cavs didn't have a pure point guard. LeBron did that as a point forward.
Point
the
linebacker.
Bucks. I can't tell you the point guard on the Bucks. The Lakers, it was LeBron. So a point guard is
Westbrook until he got.
He never won Westbrook.
Yeah, right.
He hasn't won a ring. Like guys who've won, like you don't need that Steve Nash, John Stockton, Jason Kidd. That era is over. Now it's just get the rebound. Your 3s and 4s can dribble fine, so they can push the ball on their own without having to find the outlet pass, and go from there. So, not that I want to see Boston get better, but I think potentially I think this makes them better.
I guess I wasn't saying that.
Holiday a point guard in Milwaukee? Or am I wrong?
I think Drew Holiday.
Middleton more of a shooter.
Middleton was the shooter. Drew Holiday was the point.
Yeah.
Holiday.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't consider Holiday elite, right? Nobody considers Holiday a top point guard.
Hell no.
I mean, he might be a top 5 point guard in the East, but not
Holiday.
in basketball.
Holiday is like a rumor. You know what I'm saying? He may be good. He may not be good. He had days it's like he gave 50 points, and the next game he give you 6. I mean, what the hell?
Like a Holiday Inn Express. You don't consider it like a real hotel.
Holiday is like a holiday for real. He come once a year. For real. But I don't just
hotel
holiday.
Say what?
I'm not saying I don't think they're gonna be better. I think it does give them an upgrade. I just think that I don't know. I haven't really looked at the trade who's out there on the block, but I think they could have got someone better than Prozingis because you still got that injury. If you get
to me, I don't think that really helps Boston.
Well, I think it's an upgrade for us. You're gonna get more points. You're gonna have to account for him, but that's if he plays. That's my biggest thing. If he plays, he hasn't shown. I didn't. He was in Washington, so I didn't watch when he Washington game. So I don't know how he did last year. But when he was in Dallas, well, that was Luka. That's a Luka thing. But he's in other places.
I think Lamar last night said he played 65 games last year.
See, he was injured.
Which is great for somebody his size and body frame. Like the kid gonna get drafted tonight. Like I don't see him playing.
What's his name?
Wambaya.
I think he got a lot of height, man. I don't think he'll be as good as everybody thinks.
Those legs don't hold up at that height, man.
He's not like a big guy. You know what I'm saying? He's just tall.
No.
Like
he could have been the foul pole. He threw the first pitch out at Yankee Stadium the other night. He literally could have been the foul pole. If he just stood there and put his arms up, he could have been the foul pole.
And then
you see how he held the baseball too? It was like this.
It looked like me holding a golf ball.
You know what I mean?
Like there was a baseball in there, like you couldn't tell.
Yeah, you could tell he didn't play any baseball or know anything about baseball.
His fingers looked like Hacksaw Jim Duggan's 4x4. Like he went like this, and they were like that fucking long.
Yeah, I don't have good. I don't think he's gonna be that great. I just don't see it. I could be wrong. You know, it happens.
Very rarely does hype like this deliver, right?
Right. So we'll see. I hope the Spurs do get him. That way, if he washes out, I don't care. So let's go to the Warriors trade.
Well, wait, real quick. Let me add.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, I didn't say the Marcus Smart part either.
Yeah, Memphis getting Smart.
Yeah, that's good.
Tells me there might be some concerns about Ja, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You need to bring in a leader. You need to bring in a guy. Obviously, you could play point guard for 25 games. I think it's going to end up being more because I don't see. We discussed that last week. I don't think there's any chance he doesn't fuck up again. He just seems like he is set on fucking up. But you bring in a vocal guy. You bring in a leader who has no issue opening his mouth to coaches, players, fans, whoever it may be. Marcus Smart.
I think
he doesn't act a thug. Marcus Smart is the thug. He will get in your face, put you against a locker if you're not doing what's best for the team. So
what you say, Matt?
I don't know.
But yeah, for
Memphis,
you
know what, Nick? I think you have a good point, and that's kind of what the point I was going to make too. I think that this is something the Grizzlies need. They lack that. What's the dummy they had that got into it with Shannon Sharp?
Brooks?
Yeah, Brooks. He was
Brooks.
just an idiot. You know what I'm saying? He was an idiot, and he didn't even contribute anything outside of just doing stupid shit.
Yeah.
Where Marcus Smart will still contribute and kind of be that toughness for that team, and hopefully galvanize that team and make them a tougher, grittier team. You know, and then when Ja comes back, hopefully he can kind of follow suit instead of doing stupid stuff and get to just playing basketball. So I think that might help with that. So if you look at it from that standpoint, it's a win-win for both sides.
Yeah, you would hope so, right?
What was the third part of that trade?
Wasn't there a third? Jordan Poole went to the Wizards.
That wasn't part of the Porzingis Smart trade, though. Wasn't there a third leg, or was this just a straight up swap?
I thought all I saw was that. I had to look it up.
There was a third part.
Is it? You looking it up now, Nick?
It wasn't much though.
That's what she said.
Still works though, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Valid.
But yeah, I think that this is with Horford. I don't know. All I remember is just saying those two. Even when it flashed across my screen on the feed, I just saw those two players. That's all they emphasize. So the third part don't mean shit. They get picks or something?
I can't find the big story right now is teams are prepping for Damian Lillard offers if he asked out. I
was gonna get into that after we get after the Warriors because
next clip.
I seen a couple places where they say he should go. But I think I like to see him go. Well, we get into that. I get we got the Warriors trade.
I'm trying to find the trade details, but when I opened up Bleacher Report and hit NBA for all the news, Knicks, Clippers talking potential Paul George trade.
All that.
Here we go. Yeah, Washington was a part of it.
Okay. The Celtics, Wizards, Celtics, and Clippers.
The Wizards are acquiring Gallinari and Muscala in the deal.
Okay.
Celtics are sending the 35th pick on Thursday to the Wizards in the deal. The Grizzlies are sending 2023 and 24 first-round picks to the Celtics. Grizzlies are sending number 25 on Thursday and number 24 to Golden State for Smart. It's weird. There's many layers to this.
Yeah, how do they do that?
Man, it's
how does that? How
NBA trade must be the wildest thing in the world to negotiate.
Nice. And Memphis got
like being a GM in the NBA and orchestrating a trade is sitting there like a room with a whole bunch of people with ADHD and trying to figure out what movie to watch.
I was gonna say too, Memphis got rid of Tyus Jones in that deal.
He was see that.
He was Ja's backup last year.
Mm-hmm. It's nice that he did.
Got rid of him in the Marcus Smart deal.
So what about the Warriors trade?
Stupid.
You alluded to it earlier. You probably gonna say the same thing. I'm gonna say.
I don't get it. You got Steph Curry playing point guard. He's not big enough to be a true shooting guard. You bring Paul on the court, and now you're going to put 6'6", 6'7" guys on Curry, who's I think lost half a step, and with his size, at only being 6'3", losing a half a step is catastrophic.
Right.
You know, he's still capable of those massive games because he shoots at such volume. But I think, you know, you're going to see him having more and more trouble getting a shot off as he gets older. There's a lot of miles on those legs, right? We said it with LeBron. There's a lot of deep playoff runs. He's nowhere near the athlete or physical specimen that LeBron is. And LeBron could reinvent his game, right? LeBron could go into the post. LeBron could go into a point guard. Now, Curry loses a half a step or a step. You'd want him facilitating more, but now you bring in a true point guard and get rid of an athlete. It doesn't make sense. Like I know
it doesn't solve none of the
Wiggins and Poole are kind of the same player, but I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, I love it because I hate the Warriors, so I think it guarantees an exit. And if you're bringing in CP0, the amount of rings that he has, there's no chance that they win a game or a playoff.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you. Even though I don't think that happened, but if just say hypothetically they win a championship, what does that do to Chris Paul legacy? Does it move the needle?
It's the KD thing, right? If they did it without you, who gives a shit if they do it with you?
I don't think it's the same thing.
Well, I don't think Chris Paul forced his way to Golden State though. Golden State went out and got him, as opposed to Durant.
Yeah, but that still don't make sense though. Why would you get? It's like if you looked at what people said. No, the problem was with Golden State, you know, no size and things of that nature. And then you go out and you trade away Poole, who at least is a better shooter. Yeah, he disappeared, but I think that's more of a lot of people say I had more than the Draymond incident. And he just never recovered. That's a whole other discussion. And salaries. Yeah.
That's my opinion.
But he does have games where he shoots better than Chris Paul. Plays better than Chris Paul.
Absolutely.
He's younger. He has a more of a upside because he's younger. Chris Paul is 1 foot in the grave.
Cap relief though, because
you know what I'm saying?
Paul's only got 1 more year, right, on the contract.
Yeah,
so it'll be cap relief next year.
Yeah. So I don't understand this move. It doesn't help Golden State at all. Only thing that helps is Phoenix.
Yeah,
that's it. You know, they can get rid of Paul and don't have to worry about it. And Golden State stuck with an old player that can't really do nothing. You can't say he bring a leadership. They have that. You can't say he bringing points. He ain't really, you know, Steph and Clay can score all the points, you know, if need be. So what is he bringing besides baggage? It just don't make sense.
It don't.
I
love it. I love it. It's Lakers 2.0. It's let's load up with another old guy.
Yeah.
Get rid of a young guy to bring in an old guy. Where do you get better? Like Chris Paul's not leading or helping get to an NBA Finals. You know, if anything, he hurts teams. They're better when he's not on the court in the playoffs because all of a sudden he tries to shoot like he's Steph. So I think it's a bad move, but I love it. I'm all about it. Anything that hurts the Warriors, I like. Sign Draymond too. Bring that loser back. Make it just a total shit show.
They will. They'll bring him back.
They'll bring him back. They definitely gonna bring him back.
Yep.
That goes without saying. They're gonna bring him back. So what do you think about Lillard? Where do you think Lillard should go? What's a good spot for him?
Knicks.
Of course you're gonna say that.
I would love to see him in New York. But will he go there? Probably not. It's just what I would like to see. But
he'll be in New York. He'll be in New York.
Why would he want to go to Brooklyn, dude? Why? Brooklyn is where NBA players go to die. They don't go there to win.
And the Garden is where they only come to visit as the visiting team. Stars don't go to the Knicks. They don't want to deal with the fans or the media.
Yeah.
That's why they don't go to. That's why nobody signs there. They have to get traded there.
I like that, to Philly.
Y'all get a super.
I don't think so. Lillard and Harden with the ball, or is Harden opting out?
You gotta move. You gotta move Harden. I think you move Harden. You got to. If you bring in Dame, you got to move Harden.
Absolutely.
I think Harden was able to opt out, though, right? I'm not too up on the NBA contracts. I know Lamar's usually our contract guy.
Yeah, Lamar or Miller jump in.
Yeah.
I'll say this: 2 teams I like to see them go is Miami and Milwaukee. One or the other. I like him in Miami because he adds another scoring threat. I think that him on Miami makes them a contender in the East.
But who would Miami have to give up from their team other than picks?
I mean, but look at it like this: most of their players are all the same players. They're interchangeable. Outside of Jimmy, and you argue Bam because Bam is a big guy, but outside of that, Hero, Gabe, all of them, they're the same player.
Gabe would be the first one, right? The young guy on the cheap contract. He would be the first one in that package. There would be picks.
Right. If you can make it work in Miami, you make that work. I think that makes you a better team. Because now you don't need you got Jimmy.
Yeah. You don't have Jimmy playing hero ball, chucking threes and losing playoff series.
You got Bam. Then you'll have Dame. Then you can get a lesser tier guy to kind of fill in that role of a support player. And I think you look good in Miami with the coaching and that you have. I think look at what he had. Look at they had to get to the finals. And you add Dame to that. I think that looks great. And then you look over at Milwaukee. You get rid of the idea of Holiday and Middleton disappearing. Now you got somebody that shows up for you.
Well, Middleton opted out, so.
Oh, I forgot. Okay, so then
he opted out yesterday.
So then I think that's a great spot for him. I think that's a great spot. I think those 2 places are a great spot for Dame.
I like Miami. I like Miami for him. If I can't pick my team, I don't hate Miami. I appreciate the coach. I appreciate the way they play. I like Butler. But they're getting there on grit. If you put Lillard, Hero, Butler, Bam,
I think you have a good team.
And all those role players that they have.
Yeah.
That's a good team. That's a legit title contender. I know they made the finals this year, but I don't think any of us expected them to win more than one game.
Right.
That would be a very, very legit squad. They'd be a fun squad to watch because Dame is clutch, but Portland doesn't have many opportunities to win. You're playing those games with hard-nosed defense, and you give Lillard opportunity to hit some winners. Could be exciting down there.
So what about Milwaukee?
I have no interest in it. Like I don't know. It's just
well, okay. Is it because of Milwaukee as far as because of where they are, you don't really get a chance to play, or is it a team structure for you?
I don't know. Like Middleton opting out, Middleton would have been a good trade piece, right?
Right.
So now you're losing that. I think Miami has some more tradable assets with all these walk-ons and these cheap contracts that Portland could be like, oh, we'll take 2 or 3 of these guys and a pick or 2. And we're giving you a guy who makes 30, probably way more than 30 million. I don't know his contract details. And you're giving us 3 guys that make a total of 7 million. It's a very good trade for Portland to start rebuilding, right?
Right.
So it'll be interesting.
AP say New
Orleans. If there's anybody that can pull this off, it's Pat Riley.
Oh yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
AP say New Orleans. I think New Orleans got too many. It's too many moving pieces.
They don't have enough moving pieces because Zion doesn't play.
It's just like having a bunch of odd pieces.
Thrusting back and forth is not moving pieces.
I don't know. It's something.
Gentlemen, I got to take this call.
Yeah, go ahead. Do your thing.
Be good, Matt. Be good. Everyone in the chat, take care, boys. I'll see you Monday.
All right, man. Have a good one. We got to wrap it up in a minute anyway. I don't want to get through the NBA talk, but I think with New Orleans, it's something about that team. I just don't like Dame there. I don't know why. And now they move Zion. That's another part too. They gonna move. Are they moving Zion?
You're gonna have to to get Dame. You're gonna have to.
Hey,
I think they got to move off him regardless because you're paying this dude 5 years, $295 or whatever it is.
Right.
And he's sitting on the court in street clothes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you could find somebody to take that contract, if I was New Orleans, I'd move off that in a heartbeat. Especially if he's not going to give his all and come in shape and play.
Right.
He's got a lot of questionable characteristics right now.
For real.
Whatever with him, whatever he wants to do in his personal life. But when it comes to playing basketball, that's where it matters. And
that's my point too. I heard because a lot of people bring up, what he done outside of basketball. To me, it's not like he's out here. He ain't murdered nobody. He
ain't breaking the law.
He ain't breaking no law. You know what I'm saying? So
he's just a freak.
He just needs somebody to sit him down and kind of give him the game when it's kind of outside that. You know what I'm saying? But inside the court,
he needs a mentor for real. He does.
Right. He really needs a mentor. He needs somebody to take him aside, man. Let me show you. This is for fucking. This is for cuffing. You know what I'm saying? Somebody needs to teach you that. But on the court, he need to put more emphasis on his game on the court. Come in shape, get healthy and play. We give you all this money. The potential is there. He's just not available for that potential. And that's the problem. Zion. Now, even with that, looking at that, if I'm a team, I'm looking at that. I'm looking at Ja. And the reason why I bring up Ja is because you're looking at the things that people are doing outside of the NBA, and you're like, okay, is Zion gonna be that kind of distraction? Do I want to bring him into my organization based on what he's done and what I seen Ja doing? He's gonna be that same thing. Do I want to bring him in for that kind of money? And on top of that, he's not staying healthy. So I bring him in, pay him this money, and we never get to see him play. I didn't waste a spot for somebody else.
Correct.
So it could be hard. I think it'd be hard to move.
With that contract, it's gonna be real hard to move. Contract and character issues. Yeah.
Star drama is true, or is it?
No, I think it's true.
I've seen a lot of stuff about it, and I'm talking about outside of the mainstream media where
there's
people
too much.
It's just too much. When they say where there's smoke, there's fire. So I think it's true, man. They say he's always been like that.
Yep.
So
young guy, what is he? Barely 21, 22, 23 in that range.
Right.
And got all that money. He's single.
Right.
Like you say, he ain't out murdering nobody and breaking the law. It's just what he wants to do.
Do you, man? You don't get him pregnant.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? Well, that's the only thing I'm saying. You don't get them pregnant. You do what you want to do. You get them pregnant. You don't put your seed in nothing like that. You put your seed in fertile ground. That's unfertile ground.
Does he even know it's his? Does he even know it's his?
Right. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? You never know.
But anyway, before we get out of here, I want to throw this out. We was talking about Dame. I think another wild card would be Charlotte. I think you can get him down there in Charlotte playing with LaMelo.
Teaming with LaMelo?
Yeah, I think teaming with LaMelo. I think that'd be a good matchup with him. Especially if you can get a few, you don't need large pieces outside of that. So you just need a few good pieces in there, but not superstar pieces. I think they can contend, and especially where they play at. They'd be better than Orlando. They'd be better than the Pistons. Teams like that, they're playing all the time. Be better than the Pacers. So I think immediately you step up and move up above a lot of teams. I think you'd be on par.
Move ahead of Brooklyn.
Go ahead of Brooklyn. I think you're on par with. I think you're on par, or a little bit step above Brooklyn. On par with the Knicks. The Knicks' problem, and I always say, is that they just do not finish. Like,
nope.
You think, like, I thought last year was gonna be their year. At least go further than they did. Let me say that. Nah, I thought they was gonna win a championship. No, but I thought they were gonna go further than what they did. Based on what they did the year before, I said, oh shoot, Knicks like they got together.
Yeah.
And this happens year after year. I mean, we go all the way back to the Ewing days. I mean, you watch them more than I have. I don't know what it is about the Knicks, man. It's like when you
one, they ain't got no pure shooter.
Well, we're just talking about the organization itself, man. It's like, why is it that they always seem to fall short? It's gonna remind me of the Lions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I watched the Lions all my life. It's always like you get a couple years in there, it's like, oh, it's like they're gonna do it this year. They got these players, and it's like, and it becomes frustrating as a fan.
Oh, very, very frustrating being a Knicks fan. Absolutely, man. Like you said with Detroit, it's they've had good teams, and then you just can't do nothing with it.
Can't put together. And it makes you like, for me, I don't speak for me now. I'm saying for me, like as a Lions fan, even with this year, I feel a little more comfortable than I usually do, but I still got that, you know what I'm saying, because of what you've seen before. And I think that I don't know how you feel. I don't really feel the same way about the Knicks, but that's how I feel about the Lions. I'm kind of like,
until they prove me otherwise, I'm always gonna have that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always gonna support them. Always gonna rock them, rep them. Yep. Always gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? Because like, if I'm the type of person. I'm with you.
That's it.
So I rock with you. I'm gonna support you, but I'm still gonna be like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm still looking at the big picture and what you're doing and who you got out there. And
right.
I get that.
But anyway, that's it, man. I appreciate you coming on, Matt, helping the brother out.
I appreciate you having me on, man.
No problem, man. And for the rest, Ant and Al, who was in my over in the message, I don't know why he don't ever show up here. It's just like it never connects. But anyway, everybody else, Nick, for coming on, we appreciate you. Hey, we see y'all again on Monday. I think Lamar should be up and running tonight on Late Night Owl, so check him out. Late Night Owl, MJ and the Jersey Reveal. Until next time, peace.